Action time. Cat time. What in God's name is that about? Well, to be fair, I didn't care for the movie much myself either. So I saw Captain Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe Captain Marvel, not the DC humorous-looking Captain Marvel, and I really need more light here. And I want to talk about it a little bit, and I'm just going to treat this like a movie review. Like, I'm not going to discuss the surrounding stuff that happened. I don't honestly care. But I review Marvel movies. I really like them, so let's go. Right from the get-go, this isn't... right after I saw it, I tell people, like, yeah, I was just saw the Marvel, Captain Marvel movie. And the first thing out of everyone's mouth is, how was it? And my response is always, not terrible. It's not terrible. It's a Marvel movie. I mean, people were predicting that this would be terrible. It's not. It's Marvel. Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. It hit all the same basic stuff that all the Marvel movies do. It's enjoyable. If you don't like the main thing, there's plenty of other stuff in it, which is true of absolutely all of them. I hated Brie Larson in this film. I heard some people say, Brie Larson's fine. I don't know how you can... I must not have seen the same movie. It's not just the wooden acting, it's... the point of an actor, of any sort, of any caliber, of any genre of film, is to present the character of the main character, or any character that's in the film, so that to kind of translate it. Because movie making, basics, if you have a script, there's dialogue, there's situations and so on, there's the scene set up, but who the character actually is, who they seem to be to the audience, is very reliant on the actor's ability to communicate that, to figure out who they are in their head, and then through their skills at acting, present that character to the audience on screen. The extreme example, Heath Ledger. I heard he locked himself in a hotel room for 2 weeks or something like that, trying to figure out who the Joker was. And he had that just the most awesome performance ever of the Joker that we still talk about today, because it was just that amazing. He had this character who was incredible. This character, I couldn't describe it. Is it even a character in Captain Marvel? Damn cat. I can't describe Captain Marvel. What is she? Smug? Kind of? Sometimes? I couldn't tell you what her emotions are. What's more is, and that's the acting part of that. What else is there? The writing part of this. This is a character who, no spoilers in this, although, dear God, if you see this film, and like I said, it's fine. It's probably, in my mind, this is one of the worst 3 MCU movies. I didn't really care for Age of Ultron, so these two are kind of on the same level, although there was entertaining stuff and good introductions that one, so I think I like Age of Ultron more than this one. The original Thor was kind of blah. It didn't have a lot going for it. It was still getting its feet, which it didn't get until the 3rd Thor movie. But this is really in the bottom 3, regardless of how you cut it. This just isn't a very good Marvel movie. It's fine. It's perfectly serviceable. I'm sure it's probably already made its money back, I imagine. And that's fine and that's good. I don't want the Marvel Cinematic Universe to fail, but this was not a very good movie. I'd really like to see the caliber of films go up from this, not we've gone to this precipice of building up to Infinity War, and then this is what we get next. This is shit. This is not cool. But no, as far as the writing of this character goes, no spoilers, but there's a point in this movie where it strikes me, if I'm reading this correctly, this character has a number of loved ones, people who care about them, that you could count on one hand. As near as I can tell, 3 people in the entire world give a goddamn shit who Carol Danvers is. 3, and no spoilers, one of them's not around. So it's like no family members, no loved ones, no love affairs or former lovers or for anything or nothing. I mean, this character's a blank slate. Is the character presented as having a tragic past where they were alienated for people for some reason or other? No, no, there's nothing. There's nothing to grab onto this for this character. I have to focus on Brie Larson's depiction of Carol Danvers because that's the centerpiece of this film. There isn't anything else around it. The movie is enjoyable because Samuel L. Jackson is in it, and he's a blast. They de-aged him, I thought, very well. Like, he literally looks like he did, in the 90s, to an impressive effect. He's fun. There's a cat who's a main character. That's fun. There's Jude Law is okay. He's not. There's a lot of lost opportunities in this film, and that's one of them. Like his character isn't. I mean, even the space people that you see in the beginning of this film, the Kree or hero warriors or whatever. I hate that line, by the way, but she's not friends with them. She doesn't seem to like them. They don't seem to really like her. I don't like her. It's like this character, it's odd that it's presented this way. Because the character comes across as really smug and unlikable, anti-charismatic, and then the movie presents the character as having virtually no friends. No one cares about this character, and it's like, isn't that interesting? Was that accidental? Is that I don't like the main character. I have no investment whatsoever. Once again, in the commercial, we see these flashbacks to her life. She's riding a car, a little go-kart, but she crashes. Baseball, people are mean to her. While she's training in training camp, people are mean to her. Those aren't expanded in any way. That's it. That's what you see in those commercials is exactly as it's presented in the movie. They don't go anywhere. There's no build-up to, oh, she wanted to do this. It was, people are mean to her, and it's kind of implied because she's a girl. And she overcame that. Not through any reason, or through any impulse, or through any influence, or anything. There wasn't any specific lesson, just things were keeping her down, and she got over it. And that's it. The supporting characters are fine. The whole movie's just fine. It's okay, but there's nothing exciting about it. Like I heard some people didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp. The plot of Ant-Man and the Wasp is fine. It has exciting car chases and stuff like that. There are several ticking clocks, none of which are in the Captain Marvel movie. It has a bunch of likable different characters who are thrown in and show up at random. Once again, something completely absent in Captain Marvel. You've got Nick Fury and a cat, essentially. But then it's like Hank Pym in the Ant-Man and the Wasp has this shrinking technology, and I'd say a third of this movie is what are cool things you can do with shrinking technology, and he does a bunch of them with combinations of blown up and shrunken things constantly surrounding him, ants that are different sizes and so on. So it has some interesting elements, and it plays with its premise a lot. This movie has nothing. Captain Marvel has boring powers, and when she was young, people for half a second, we see nothing but very short flashbacks, thought she couldn't accomplish something, I guess, and then she accomplished something. One thing I was worried about, when I saw this movie, I saw it with a friend who tends to like action films. In fact, I thought, this is a Marvel movie, it'll be good enough, and it was, that she would really love it, but then I might have a bunch of problems with it. Certainly I was thinking that about halfway through this film. In fact, 2/3 of the way through this film, I'm like, there's some problems here. I'm thinking, am I going to get into an argument with my friend? because maybe I'm going to say some stuff like critical of this film. It didn't end up being a problem. She fell asleep about 2/3 of the way through it. And I mean literally fell asleep during this movie. Like, at one point, I was like going, God, this is just dragging on. And there's literally snoring to my right. It was that exciting. Later, she was, my friend, wants different things from the movie. She wants a comic book in movie format. She really does. And there's nothing, there's a decent thing to want from a movie about comic book characters. She wants the characters presented well to do exciting, cool things while looking cool. That's what most of this audience should want. I tend to be more character-driven. I want, like, I'm cool with them just standing around talking and stuff like that. Bring me these action heroes and let us debate. It's just a weird thing about me. But no, she mentioned she thought scenes from this film looked like they could have come from a Netflix series. Like they were less exciting and less interesting visually. Like they could very easily have been from like the Marvel Netflix universe. Certainly I've seen a lot of scenes from Daredevil that were much more, they were far more compelling than anything I saw during this film. Particularly first season of Daredevil. So, it is what it is. How do I rate these damn things? It's... Okay, what are the odds you're going to see this film and not like it? Well, pretty damn good. Really damn good, actually. If you can get into the idea that this is the first Marvel character who's a female character who has her own movie, then you're living a lie. The Elektra movie with Jennifer Garner was totally a thing that happened. It wasn't very good. Frankly, this one wasn't either, so whatever. The Black Widow movie will be the first. Dear sweet Jesus, did DC... DC did Wonder Woman. I wish I were watching a DC movie is not a phrase that comes up very often. Oh man, did it much better. Anyway, odds you'll see this movie not like it. 2/3, like really good. I imagine there's some people who are just like, fuck it. I don't care about Brie Larson's politics. Just ignore that part. I don't care that much that about characterization. God, you have to throw out everything. I mean, this is such a vanilla milquetoast film for a Marvel movie. It's just crazy. 2/3. What else? Do I want to see this again? Weirdly, no. Absolutely not. I have no intention of seeing this again. I was kind of bored through this film. I don't intend to re-bore myself. That's all I have to say about this. There's not a lot good to say about it other than they had some nice cameos by other characters, including a brief one by Stan Lee, which, if you wanted to see that, see that. The cat was cool if you're a cat person. There was a cat in it, and the cat featured prominently. Samuel Jackson is Samuel Jackson. The rest of it's just... God, even Jude Law. They had Jude Law in this film. Couldn't do anything cool with him. Couldn't make him a love interest or anything exciting. That would cause some sort of conflict or anything. So, whatever. The hell with this film. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Hopefully the next film I will be reviewing will be less boring.